Hey, Kyle. How did Sherm look in practice this week? And are you ruling him out as well for Sunday?
Yes, he did a good job. Was able to practice all 3 days on scout team. Um, he is right. If we had to do it, we could push it, but it wouldn't be the smartest thing. So we're going to take him into this bye week and feel good about him going versus the Rams.
What's the update with Kendrick Bourne? Is he ready to play in this game?
Yeah, Kendrick Bourne was back in the building today. Got him in the meetings. You got to get out there for our walkthrough type practice.
Because Kendrick's been in quarantine for, I guess, over a week now, will that potentially factor into his workload? I mean, I guess in other words, is conditioning a possible issue?
Yes. I mean, I'm sure he's been doing some things on his own, hopefully, just running. But I mean, anytime you're not here for 10 days and miss 2 weeks of practice, it is an issue. But um, we don't. We're down some receivers, so he's going to be up regardless. But we got to be smart with him.
Kyle, you guys have played pretty well on the road this season, and it's obviously weird circumstances. So when you go to like New Orleans today, you're going to be in that hotel for almost 48 hours, right? Outside of maybe a walkthrough. What is it like just to try to get the guys kind of get back into game mode and just how is a road trip?
I mean, I love it because it's a lot of time to catch up on sleep, and if you're not sleeping, there's not anything else to do, so you sit there and prepare for the game. So I think it's nice. It's a lot. There's no distractions. There's no family in town. I mean, you always would like to be home with the family and stuff, but it's it's all football or your hotel room. So I think it helps you just lock in more and rest a little bit more. And we haven't had to play with any fans in the stadium, so there hasn't really been such thing as home field or advantage. I know we got a little bit this week. I know they're allowing 6,000 in, so obviously that'll be louder than nobody. But we'll see how it is.
Hey, Kyle, what have you learned about Jarek McKinnon? You know, you've had him in the building now. This is year three, but seeing how he's performed in your offense, and then last week, and I'm assuming this week, he'll have to take on a little bit more of the load than I'm sure you wanted him to. What do you think about his readiness to play a full game and play all three downs?
I mean, I think he's been having to do that for a number of weeks here. I think that's what set him back a little bit. I think I started after the Philly game. What happened to him when we lost a few guys and how much he had to go, and then what that led to in the next few weeks. But I've been real happy with Jet. I love him as our third down back. I love him in there as a running back. Don't want him to have to carry the load too much because that wears it down everybody, especially a guy who's had 2 years off football coming back with what he's done. But I think the way we've taken care of him here these last few weeks, I think it showed better for him versus the Packers last week. I think it'll help him this week going into it, and hope we can get some more guys back so we can take that stuff off him and get him back to using them specifically how we planned on.
Kyle, on draft day, I think you guys said that you really like Colton McKivitz. You weren't sure whether he was a tackle for you or a guard. What position was his future position? Has that started to become more clear? Are you guys now looking at him as a guard for the future?
No, I think you look at him where you need him the most right now. It's his best chance to get on the field after we drafted him, after we got Trent, already having McGlinchey. His best chance was at guard, so we threw him in there to get in that competition with Brunskill and Compton, and that's where he's needed to stay. And it's nice to have him as an option if things happened at tackle. We'll evaluate our whole roster at the end of the season because I think he has the ability to play both in this league, but he needs to work at whatever one it is to become a solid starter. And this year it's been at guard, and that's why he's having that opportunity right now at guard.
Kyle, Richie James was obviously played at the slot most of his career, and then in a pinch had to be played outside. He said he prefers being a slot guy, but clearly has that flexibility. What do you look for when you're evaluating guys in the draft and in free agency in terms of outside receivers? What are the qualities you look for?
Well, an outside receiver has to have the ability to get on top of people and run by people. So for me personally, it starts with a 40 time. But if you don't have that 40, there's plenty of outside receivers who don't have that 40 time. But you got to be able to still threaten people with the go route, whether that's with size, whether it's with your ball skills, whatever that is, just your savviness to get on top of guys. And if you can threaten people with the go route on the outside, then you have the ability to run every other route. But once people realize you can't run a go route on the outside, then people squat on you, then you can't go out there. That was my life story.
Kyle, obviously you're in the middle of a season and you're trying to win games, but when you have so many guys, so many key guys facing potential free agency, do you have to find a balance between, pushing them and wanting to win now and also evaluating how they're doing and what they could bring to the team in the future?
I think trying to do the best you can each week, every practice, I think that goes hand in hand with evaluating guys, what they are now, what they're going to be next week, how they're going to help us finish us out this year, and what they're going to be in the future. So I don't think I have to compare those things. Right now with so many guys out and just where we've been at, that's makes guys down a little bit. So my biggest thing on what getting guys to focus on is just getting better. And that's a cliche you say a lot. You get better or worse. But when guys are down, you better make sure you don't make it worse. And that's why we just started out of practice on Wednesday, that our goal was to just go out there and focus each person individually getting better. And I was really proud of the guys for that. We had a few low days after that Green Bay game, and sometimes it's hard to get back up for work, but guys came in and that Wednesday practice, guys were grinding. Thought we had one of our most physical practices yesterday. On Thursday, in both of our team run drills, which was real exciting to see. And that gives me confidence in our guys that we can keep getting better. Hopefully we'll get a few guys back as this goes through the end. And to me, when guys just worry about that stuff, it helps us know what they are, how they respond to adversity, how they're going to be going forward. But I want guys to always continuing to improve, whether you're a rookie or you're a 10-year vet. If you're not improving, you're on your way out.
Kyle, with Trent Williams and Brandon Ayuk being out last week, probably a little frustration on everybody's part. How did they see him in practice? And with having a week off, did they have a little bit extra pep in their step? Was there a little bit more energy from those two?
Yeah, I think they did. I think both those are two guys in particular that I think were playing at probably their personal highest levels of the year. And they were really eager to get to that game. And you go through the week of practice and you kind of get surprised by it. So I think they were a little frustrated and eager to get out there on the football field, which was nice. Anytime they sweat or were breathing too hard, guys mess with them. They should have extremely fresh legs and be nice and ready to go. But it was just a few days that they missed. So I know they're happy to be back, and we're happy to have them out there.
Hey, Kyle, obviously you're significantly shorthanded again for this game. Everyone saw, nationally what happened against the Packers. The Saints look like, one of the greatest teams in NFL history against the Buccaneers. Obviously, everyone's kind of figured out what's going to happen Sunday. Do you, get into any of that, like, us against the world, no one believes in us, or do you not get into all that kind of mumbo jumbo?
It depends on the week. Sometimes, I try to keep it real with the guys, and I know no one's giving us a shot, and it's not like I'm going to sit in there and go give the best rah-rah speech ever that it's us against the world, and so that's why we're going to go out there and shock everyone. Guys love that challenge. Anything you do, it's always more fun to do something people don't think you can. So that is a motivation. That is exciting. But really what I said a few questions ago, everything I've been this week is I really don't care about much else except getting better. Whoever that is, whatever player it is, whatever coach it is. And if you can kind of narrow your thoughts to that, then you have a chance to do better. And the better you do, the better chance we have at winning. And then you add on the spot that no one thinks you can. And, I think that entices everybody. You always want to prove people wrong, and we know it's going to be a big challenge. But that's something that we're ready to go compete for, and that not just on Sunday. We've been working for this all week, and we'll see what happens Sunday. But our guys are going to go out there and go for it.
Robert Saleh said yesterday that the defense really responded well to the mini bye week and practiced extremely well on Wednesday and Thursday. Does that mean that the offense didn't practice well? How did the offense practice, and how did it respond to the mini bye week?
You didn't ask Saleh how the offense practiced? All right, No, I thought the offense had a good practice. I mean, I think it's more of the intent of it. I mean, not every we card stuff. It doesn't mean our stats were good or out there. Not that we take them. It doesn't mean that we complete every completion, but it's more how you go about things. And after the tough loss, after a few days off, I mean, we've all coached a while, Saul and myself, and those are the times where it's like, hey, we got to get these guys up. It's going to be hard to get them going, and it wasn't that way. I'm sure I didn't hear Saul, but I'm sure that's why he talked positive about the defense yesterday. Because I mean, they on Wednesday and Thursday, it would have seemed, if you just watch guys' demeanor, watch guys the silent tape, it would look like we're working our butts off, and things are going well.
With Jaquowski out for the rest of the season, do you guys just roll with Marcel, or do you guys have some options that you worked on in practice as far as, whether it's Tarvarius or Jonathan Cyprian? How do you guys figure to play that beginning on Sunday?
Well, we got the same guys there, just losing Tart, so we work all the options with everyone. I mean, you'll see on Sunday exactly who we go with. But, we've had guys who play all the positions. So Marcel's done a real good job for us. Tarvarius has done a good job when he gets in. Jimmy has the capability to really play anywhere in the secondary. So, and New Orleans has a lot of different things. So losing Tart's a big blow because of the versatility and just the player he is. But we got some other guys who can go in there that we can mix around. So we do still have a lot of options.
Last one.
Two-part question. Is Trent Taylor's back injury related to the back issues that he's dealt with in the past? And the second part is about his position, whether, you haven't had a lot of consistency at that F position since you've been here. Has that been problematic, frustrating to you, and just not having, the same guys game in and game out at that spot?
Yeah, anytime you have to continuity is a big thing. I know you guys hear it a lot because it is true. Whether it's the receivers getting used to it day in and day out, the quarterback's getting used to it, how you break the huddle, how you move, just the whole rhythm of an offense. So continuity is a big deal. Trent did a hell of a job his first year for us as a rookie at that spot. And then the next 2 years had some real bad injuries that really set him back. Worked his butt off to get back, to give him a chance to be in the league and help us this year. And that's where he started off the year, especially with Ayuk out and Debo out. But Bourne ended up taking over our F role last year, about, I want to say, week 9 or something. I mean, it took us a while with a bunch of guys in and out. Debo was coming on strong to start at our X. Emmanuel came in, took over our Z, and then Bourne took over our F. And from then on out, I feel like that's when our offense took off. We didn't change receivers. It was those three, with Richie rotated in for them. But it was those three from that moment all the way to the Super Bowl. And that was, I felt like we got better each week over that. We had that for 2.5 games this year. It started out with Miami, but we weren't totally ready. Guys were just coming back. I really felt that versus the Rams. All right, we got 2 weeks in a row of our guys going, and I'm starting to feel it. And I think that's why we played a little bit better. And then you go into the third week with New England, it was the same thing. And I felt like that was what you saw. Guys getting better, the continuity coming. And then at the end of that game, losing Debo was a big setback because we lost him. Then you go into the next week, you lose Kittle and Jimmy and Tevin and Jeff Wilson. And then getting Ayuk, losing him and Bourne right before the game last week. So, yes, the continuity's been off big time. And we got Ayuk back. We got Bourne in today. And then hopefully we'll get Debo back next week. And then hopefully we can build off that and see how many games in a row we can get those three out there.
All right, thanks, folks.
All right, thanks, guys.
Hey guys, we got Brandon here for you. Hey Brandon, obviously last week I'm sure it had to be frustrating. Can you kind of put into words just how the week played out for you and what your thoughts were on the way everything went down?
Yeah, last week it was frustrating. The most being just the unknown. First of all, just wanted to make sure that I didn't have the virus and wasn't first dealing with whatever I had going on at home, my family, and then just also not being able to be in the building and come was kind of rough. So I would just explain it as just being just a tough week, not being able to come in and be around, being able to practice, and then especially not even being able to play in the game.
Brandon, this will be your first week in the NFL playing it in front of fans. Can you just talk a little bit about what you're looking forward to with that and how you think it'll be different?
I'm excited. Looking forward to it. We have some real crowd noise now, not noise coming from the speakers or anything like that. So excited to get some real crowd noise. Whether I'm not sure how it works, whether it's our fans or not. I'm just excited to play in front of people again.
Brandon, Kyle just spoke about continuity and how difficult it's been for you all as a wide receiver group. What has made it kind of easier for you to kind of get adjusted to playing again, like with all the different changes that you've had?
I don't think there was anything. It was just pretty much just a Monday practice that we had, even though we played on Thursday game. I think it was more excitement than anything, just being able to get back on Monday and getting to the swing of things again, being able to practice and being out there again. So I don't think there was too much of that, just more excitement than anything to get back.
Brandon, last week we talked about you and Devontae Adams and how you've been looking up to him. Have you watched much Michael Thomas at all, just coming up as a receiver? And is there any parts of his game that you've tried to add to yours?
I've watched him a little bit. I haven't watched him as much. But we all know what he's capable of doing. He's one of the best receivers in this league. But haven't watched as much film on him.
And I know Richard Sherman's pretty much been out most of the year, but now that he's back, have you gleaned anything off of him? And what's it like having him back and be able to go against him in practice?
I love having Sherm out there. Just him being back out there this week. Just this week alone, just being able to go up against him and just he just has some things, just kind of the vet things, the tools that he has in his bag that you don't get to see all the time. So when you're going up against older corners who kind of have the little just a little tricks that they do, I get to see it firsthand in practice, and I'm able to become aware of those things because you don't know what you don't know. So when he does certain things, I'm able to see it and just talk to him about those things and just pick his brain as what he sees and what things that I could do. Even when I'm going against him, he coaches me up on ways to even beat him as well. So I love having Sherm out there, and it's been great to have him back out here this week.
Brandon, does Richard Sherman also go over film with you too about guys, or kind of help school you up on opposing cornerbacks, since he knows basically everybody in the league? And then what do you do when you're watching film of opponents? Like, do you take notes? And what are you looking for?
Yesterday we had some reps against each other yesterday, so we were watching that in the locker room. We haven't watched film on other people, but we just watch sometimes the film of what we did in practice against each other, or what he might see. And then when I'm not necessarily taking notes on corner, but on on a notepad, but in my brain I'm kind of jotting down things that I see and where I could get an edge.
All right, guys. Thanks, Brandon.